Okay, so SpaceX's Starship, the world's first super heavy reusable rocket, blew up in a test launch this week. I mean, it left the launch pad, it got to about 25 miles into the atmosphere, and then it started to jilter and it blew up. Not bad for its first launch. But the young Turks had a remarkable take on this, because anything except for perfection the first time is a failure. Oh God, Cenk and Anna. This is TYT's Cenk and Anna talking about SpaceX's super heavy Starship's failed launch. Here we go.
Just before 2 minutes into flight, the exhaust plume out of the base of the rocket sort of went asymmetrical. You could tell it was no longer as symmetric as it had been, and a few seconds after that, it started a slow tumble and then exploded.
That's right. The SpaceX Starship rocket exploded mere minutes after it launched.
Oh, you can just smell the smug coming off her, can't you? Here, look at this in slow motion.
That's right. The SpaceX Starship rocket exploded mere minutes after it launched.
Oh yeah, Anna, how did your rocket launch the size of a 40-story building go? Much better, I presume?
It's been described as the world's largest and most powerful rocket, but it failed midair after clearing the launch pad during a test flight this morning.
After clearing the launch pad by 25 miles, Anna, they sent something the size of a 40-story building 25 miles into the air.
Now, just to give you a few more details about it, SpaceX's Starship, the most powerful rocket ever built, although, I mean, it exploded, but nonetheless, took off from a launch pad on the coast of South Texas on Thursday at 9:28 a.m. Eastern time, but exploded midair before stage separation. Thursday's launch marked the vehicle's historic first test flight.
Yes, test flight, Anna, test flight. So SpaceX are like, I wonder if we can get this 120-meter, fully reusable, in theory, rocket off the ground with a payload capacity of 100 to 150 tons. I don't know, seems like a pretty big ask. Maybe we should do a few tests and iron out the bugs.
Now, the flight reached its highest point, which was 24.2 miles above the ground. And the explosion occurred about 4 minutes after liftoff, and that's according to SpaceX, which of course is led by Elon Musk, who seems to be on Twitter all day, so that could be part of the problem, I don't know.
Oh, they hate Elon, don't they? And they hate the fact that he bought Twitter. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, we're about to hear Chunk's wise take on this, but first, I'm gonna sell you some coffee. Let's talk about Coffee Brand Coffee, a grassroots politically neutral coffee company started by my mate Jeremy Hambley last year that's quickly gained a solid reputation as some of the nicest coffee out there. You see, all the coffee you purchase is hand roasted to order. That means they wait till they receive your order before firing up the roaster. Because coffee loses much of its flavour 7 to 10 days after roasting, they roast daily to ensure their coffee has exceptional flavour. So instead of buying a product that's probably been on the shelf in a warehouse for months at a time, you get a perfectly roasted product that goes straight from their roasters to your doorstep. And with over 4,000 verified customer reviews, most of them 5 out of 5, you can be confident your Coffee Brand Coffee is going to be an absolute winner. They've got all sorts of flavours and products. They've got your classic light and dark roasts. They've got decaf and double caf. They've got cold brew kits. They've got K-cups for your coffee machine. They've got all sorts of wacky flavours like French toast, strawberries and cream, bourbon flavoured coffee, salted caramel coffee, and much, much more. You like tea or cocoa? They've got plenty of that too. Have a look at their website, coffeebrandcoffee.com. Use the coupon code BEARING, and not only will you get a whopping 10% off your order, you'll help support this channel and a great up-and-coming independent coffee company.
For some reason, reporters over at CBS really felt the need to spin this as a massive victory for Elon Musk.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not kidding. I'll provide the receipts right now. In fact, let's watch.
You know, we called it a failure at the top of the show. It's really maybe a successful failure is one way to put it. I mean, you know, it's the first flight of a rocket this big, biggest rocket ever built. And the fact that they got it up at all was fairly impressive.
For people who are watching it, when you say, it's hard for people to reconcile it didn't work with it was successful, even if it didn't work.
Yeah, but you know, failure, as we know, for most things that are hard to do, the road to success includes a lot of failure.
Sure.
That's how you get there.
That's how you get there.
Yes, Anna, that's how you get there. To be really successful at something, you usually have to fuck it up a few times first. Are you serious?
So the rich and the powerful must always be fluffed.
Aren't you the guy who was talking about legalizing bestiality as long as the animal was on the receiving end? If I were you, Chunk, and this is just a bit of advice, I'd keep the term fluffing out of your mouth.
On corporate media.
Dude, it is incredible. Look, I am not discounting this is not an easy thing to accomplish, right? So I'm not trying to minimize that, but can CBS relax for a second?
Yeah, look here.
You know what? This was a successful failure.
The successful failure lines. I mean, that's so corporate media.
It is.
Right? And you know what else was the largest of its kind? The Titanic. And if they were around back then, mainstream media would be like, well, to be fair to the corporation that owns the Titanic, it was a bit of a successful failure.
No, that doesn't compare at all, Chunk, because the Titanic went through sea trials. Now, if they fucked up the sea trials, they would have said, oh, here's what we did wrong, let's fix it and try again. The Titanic fucked up because they hit an iceberg, because they wanted to get to New York quicker, you muppet.
I mean, they got it in the water, and it did hit the iceberg. I mean, the iceberg also got damaged. So the spin is unbelievable.
Yes, Chunk, your spin is unbelievable. The iceberg got damaged too? What the fuck? How do you come up with these arguments?
You know, so these goofballs, the Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, et cetera, they build these rockets in the shape of penises. I mean, let's be honest, right? The Bezos one is like, it's the most phallic thing I have ever seen.
No, I totally get that, but don't they have to be? Isn't it like an aerodynamic thing?
Yes, thank you, Anna. I'm pretty sure it is an aerodynamics thing. And it's a pretty sad admission of Chunk to say, oh, that rocket ship over there is the most phallic thing I've ever seen. I mean, I know you must struggle seeing your own phallic thing, Chunk, but you could use a mirror, I don't know, a magnifying glass if you must.
But then corporate media comes along and they're like, look at that big, beautiful rocket.
It's so powerful.
Oh, you know what? It blew up, but that's good. You know, those things are supposed to blow at some point. That's a successful failure right there.
Yeah, SpaceX got a rocket the size of a 40-story building off the launch pad and 25 miles into the air. That does sound like a successful failure, Chunk. Now, why don't we have a look at a couple of your failures and see how successful they were? I mean, there was the time you ran for Congress in California's 25th district. Remember that?
I will be running for Congress in California's 25th district. I'm going to represent those people in a way that they have not seen before. I will not be a standard politician. I will fight for them. And if you want a real fighter, I'm gonna go kick Republicans' ass. Jank2020.com. Let's go shock the world and show them something they've never seen before.
Well, how did that go for you, Chunk? Oh, right, you came fourth with 5.9% of the vote. Successful failure? I don't know, what do you reckon? Well, there was that time you made this big announcement. You were going to release a book called Justice is Coming. You announced that on the 7th of May 2020, and you started taking pre-orders for its upcoming release.
My whole life, people have been telling me to do one thing. And they keep saying this, especially since I've been on the Young Turks. Every friend I have, every family member, and a lot of you guys. Will you, for God's sake, do this thing, Cenk? What is it? Write a book.
I'm still waiting for my copy of Justice is Coming, Cenk. Oh wait, this title will be released on September 19, 2023. Wow, that's like 3.5 years after the announcement. And I almost guarantee you, I will not receive my copy by then. Successful failure? I don't know, Chunk. What do you reckon? Well, at least you've always got your impeccable political predictions. Like this one back in 2016.
I'm calling Hillary Clinton the winner of this presidential election. 3 weeks before the election, exactly 3 weeks, almost exactly. And before the third debate begins, it's about to begin as we do this live coverage, she's going to win the election.
Now, Chunk, I'm not saying you can't fuck up. I'm not saying you can't be wrong. All I'm saying is that when you start calling a guy who launched a 40-fucking-story building off the Earth and 25 miles into the atmosphere a failure, then people are going to start taking stock of your failures. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you have anything to add, leave a comment below or go to my super-duper gay half-stepbrother-in-law's Twitter account, bskills with 3 L's and an at the start. Also, I'm on Rumble. Go subscribe to me on Rumble. I would highly appreciate it. All right. Cheerio, cunts. I'll catch ya.
Recession! Give me better times, give me better times. Recession!